Tom Holland is my perfect Spider-Man. Okay, I was done with Tobey's movies. I still appreciated them, sure, but I didn't need them anymore. I realized that Andrew's movies sucked. Spider-Man seemed like a thing of the past to me. But then, the Captain America Civil War trailer dropped, breaking the internet, and I snapped right back. It was like a black hole, drawing me into Peter Parker once more. And I was hooked, man. I saw Civil War opening night, Homecoming opening night, and Far From Home opening weekend. Finally, after all these years, I could look at Peter and look in the mirror and see some sort of resemblance. No 30-year-olds pretending to be sophomores, no college graduates, but a high school kid. And it's not about the age, although Tom Holland is significantly younger than the other two. It's about the look, it's about the feel of a real kid. And of course, Ben's death is extremely valuable to Peter's arc. But these movies dared to do something different. They didn't pop Uncle Ben for the third time, or show the spider bite. They showed us Peter Parker from a different perspective. And no wonder people hate that now. Every single complaint I see about the Spider-Man comes down to the fact that he's different. No rehashes, just steps forward. Homecoming starts in the absolute best way possible. It shows Peter being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I can't tell you how refreshing it is to see him give an old lady directions or to stop a bike thief, when just 5 years earlier we saw him interrogate and torture criminals like a red and blue Batman. Sure, Peter has this multi-million-dollar suit at his disposal, but does he go to the Middle East to kill terrorists? No. He nabs a churro. He stops a small-time bank robbery. And is it partly because Tony and Happy don't allow him to go beyond that? He obviously yearns for something more Avengers level. But that's such a natural want for a person his age, for a person my age. It adds more depth. It leads to a goal he ultimately rejects. At the end of the day, Peter turns down the fancy Iron Spider suit in Pepper Potts' press conference to be a
friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Somebody's gotta look out for the little guy, right?
I would be lying if I said I didn't prefer the homemade quality of Tobey's and Andrew's suits to the techie Iron Man-like ones in these films. But I mean, at least for Homecoming, this suit represents his way of being a hero. You can have all these gadgets, all these web shooter combinations, and still, you'll
fail, fall, die trying.
You'll destroy the bodega, the ferry. You'll get trapped in an underground facility for hours on end, and a suit can't help with that. It's not until Peter loses the suit, until he gets consequences for his actions, that we see his true power. And perhaps the greatest Spider-Man moment of all time, he lifts an entire collapsing building. It's not about strength, it's not about the feat. It's about the fact that Peter can look at himself and see a hero. No suit needed. And Far From Home is just as brilliant. In the wake of Tony Stark's death, he's desperately looking for guidance. He's a kid for heaven's sake, exactly the same age as I am. Sure, he learned how to be his own hero in Homecoming, but with Stark gone, Peter is scared. That's why he trusts Beck the way he does, why he gives him the power of Edith, the sentimentality of Edith. He's wanting, begging for a new Tony Stark. To help him, yes, but also give him a sense of security, that he can live his own non-superhero life. Without Tony, the world is always on his shoulders, a fact that a high schooler can't accept. Peter Parker wants to be normal, but he can't do that if he's supposed to be the next Iron Man. So he doesn't. He gives Edith to Beck, to his new Tony Stark, and he pays for it. The same drones designed by his mentor are the ones that attack him, almost kill him. Far From Home is about the dangers of living in the shadow of another man, another hero. And by the end, Peter emerges from that shadow. Again, no tech, no special suit powers, just himself. He literally and figuratively destroys the remnants of Tony, crushing his drones and any future Stark-like figure. Both of these movies have a perfect Peter Parker arc. Homecoming is about him emerging from the suit, and Far From Home is about him emerging from Iron Man altogether. That's why it bugs me when people hate the Spider-Man for being Iron Man Jr. Sure, he may start that way, but you can't judge a character from the beginning of their character arc. That's like judging Tony for being an arms dealer. It doesn't make sense. Anyone with half a brain can see that the finales of both films are about him trying to overcome the pressure put on him by Tony Stark and his suits. And the villains, holy crap, the villains. Easily some of the most well-crafted characters in the entire MCU. People say that they're lame because all their motivations are against Iron Man, not Spidey. But that's not even true. Sure, their hatred for Tony sparks their villainy, but their motives turn away from that. Vulture wants to support his family, and Beck wants to be famous. None of these motives even have to do with Tony Stark. And in relation to Peter, it couldn't be more perfect. They both are some of the scariest things for a high schooler to endure. Your girlfriend's dad trying to kill you, and the person you looked up to trying to kill you. Narratively, it just fits so damn well. The absolute last thing I wanted to do with this series was to contradict myself. And I'm sure I have. In one video, I complained about one aspect of Spidey, while in another, I'd praise him for it. But the truth is, I genuinely think that all three of those Spider-Men are so amazing in their own way. All three of these series have, in one way or another, made me who I am today. I grew up with these movies, but more importantly, these movies grew up with me. They went from the cheesy 2000s fun of Maguire, to the dark, mature tone of Garfield, to the semi-realistic high school experience of Holland. In a way, they've told me what it means to be a man. And I know it's silly to think that a comic book movie of all things can show you how to live your life, but if I didn't grow up with them, my entire being could be a lot different than it is today. So yes, every single Spider-Man, Maguire, Garfield, Holland, Lowenthal, Keaton, Jeter, Johnson, Moore, Pine, Todio, are all perfect.